Hello, today I'm going to be going over the basics of creating a GDI plus theme. The reason I am doing this, even though I have absolutely no idea about GDI, is primarily because Aaron from Hackforms decided to make a tutorial and he missed a few things that really should be taken care of, such as not properly disposing of everything, and a few other things, like actually not covering how to utilize variables or multiple properties, which is kind of important. For this tutorial, I am not going to be using the same variable names or anything other than really his base style of doing it, and Keith's colors, because I am artistically dead. First mistake that I would like to point out is he used wrong hotkey. He used text renderer don't measure text twice, but he declared he accessed the static method twice separately instead of storing it in a variable because he was only measuring one string. So for this we can set height equal to width divided by 2 minus string. I really need to figure out a better name for this if I'm ever going to do this again. And we'll just copy and paste that, set it to h, and adjust this to height and height. And the other mistake he did in his functions module was, instead of returning a new point with the values, he created a new point and returned the variable from that. Next we're going to set up 3 private variables instead of allowing them to be public, because only the class needs access to these private variables. One of the values or types I'm changing is the height of the border, and instead of using an int32, which I believe requires more memory to store, I'm going to use a int16. That's all for the variable properties. They're exactly the same as Aaron's. Next we're going to go to onCreate control, which I spelled wrong. Come on. OnCreate. Nope. I really can't spell. Oh, I know what's wrong. You need to also inherit container control. Now I can override onCreate control. Just a note, I generally work above the base. This is probably wrong and should probably work below it, but I think it looks better. That's my opinion. My opinion is useless to you though. Set the parent forms, doc style, whoop, nope, not doc style, whoop, nope. Parent form dot form border. If you can't tell, I'm actually copying some prepared code to make this go faster. We also set allow transparency to false. You shouldn't actually need to set a transparency key, because if the user wants to use transparency, he would have to set this to true. And if he sets this to true, I assume that the user will be setting a transparency key that suits them and no one else. We want to set base.doc style to equal fill. One other thing that will help you is assigning to the text to changed event, and we'll just use a Lambert expression to call our forms invalidate. Now this can throw no reference exception, but from testing I couldn't get it to throw no reference exception in onCreate control. The same will happen in onPaint. These events are usually called after the initialize code is called, so it should be fine. If you have an error, the simple solution, or if you're getting a null reference from this, the simple solution is defining an implicit variable to find form. You then check if x is not equal to null, then you can, instead using that, you can assign that. And whoops, that's the old variable name I was using. This is assigned from x, but because that actually will essentially, if it's not found, so it's not assigned anything yet, you will never register to this event, so it makes this entire code pointless. Next up, we need the on mouse down, on mouse up, and on mouse move. On mouse up, we want to set dragging to false. On mouse down, we want to check if a.button is equal to mouse buttons dot left. We also want to check if a new rectangle that is 0 by 0 starts at 0 by 0 and is base width and this move height. Whoops, that's not right. Contains e.location. E.location is a mouse event args, and that contains information about where our mouse is. E.location specifically is what we're looking at, and that contains a point variable of where the cursor is. We want to set dragging to true, and moving point will be set to e.location, if I could spell. Those two are done. And I can't minimize these for shit, but whatever. Just a longer video, I'm sure you don't care. This one is rather simple. If dragging parent.location equals mouse position minus, and we'll actually quickly convert moving point into a size, and minus mouse position, minus it to minus mouse position, if that makes sense. If it doesn't, sorry. Go on my language. Finally, the last major event that we need to override is the onPaint event, and I've yet again generated the wrong event. I hate this. OnPaint, that's the right event. In here, we want to use var g equal to e.graphics, which is a paint event argument. If you don't know what event arguments are, stop doing this, go learn the actual language. We want to assign this to the back color. That's actually something that I haven't done. And we also want to use another using statement. And we want to set B equal to a new solid brush. And we'll use full color. Inside of B, we want to go G.fill rectangle. And it will be the foreground color with a new rectangle. That new rectangle will start 9 from the left, move height from the top up. It will go for width minus 18, which is 9 on both sides. It will go for height minus move height plus 9, and that'll give us a nice little border effect around our form. And I just totally deleted that. Whoops. Next we want draw text. Draw string. My bad. In here, as I was saying, find form can potentially have a null reference exception, but it's highly unlikely. That is something I forgot to do. Whoopsies. Center text. What have I done? And this is all pretty much the same as what was done on Ernst's theme tutorial. Nothing's changed. The only difference is I've wrapped the solid brush color into a reusable variable that will also be disposed automatically. That was probably my biggest gripe. He wasn't disposing the solid brush because he was declaring it inside of fill rectangle and draw string, when I'm 200% certain that they don't automatically dispose of their brushes. On correct control. Now this is where we can have some fun. So as you can see, we set base dot doc, so we want to pass space.font will equal to a new font. I forgot how to spell the font they used, and I'm not even going to bother trying to pronounce it. And what have I done? No, I don't want team validation. Set the font size, and the other thing we want to do is we're going to set for color to new. Wait, no, not color. We'll use its static method from ARGB, and we want to pass for color was 62, 62, 66. Back color equals color dot from ARGB 230 by 230 by 230. These are actually backwards. God damn it. And instead of actually like declaring them as own did, you can actually just change the default values, which is a lot more efficient, because instead of declaring or having 3 different versions of for color, or even not allowing the user to change the font, it will allow that. And finally, something that is a personal touch from me, we want to grab the on text, change the void, and in here varx equals define form, and that was RC if you're wondering, and we want to make sure x is not equal to null, and if it is, form.text, x.text equals this.text. What this does is it will, when our text property is changed, it will update the parent form's property. Another thing that we want to do is, already done. So now if we rebuild the solution, scroll up, we have our something, and we forgot to give our theme height and height. Height will be 30. So we rebuild this again, we now have our height. Now if we add a button, and the button, I don't know why, but for some reason its for color is taken from our for color when it should be taken from the back color. I'm not sure why, and the back color is, you know, obvious. That's something for you to fix, personally. Then bottom one, say event, what we'll do is we'll call this.text equals new form title, and I can capitalize, yay! God damn it. I'll have to edit that out, turn off my media keys, and we now press button 1, new form size. No, that's not even on screen. So if I drag it over to on screen, you can actually see we can drag it as intended. One thing that you would need to add functionality is for if it's on these sides, which should really be thinner, but whatever. It will drag it or increase the size. But if we hit the bottom, new form title, and the best part, there's some theme one. Drag this back on over. It will also work if you use something.text. Now the only downside to this is if we actually go to Form 1 Designer and open up here, you can see that the text is being set, but instead it is reading this text. You would have to create some sort of workaround to see if your text is set, and if it's not equal to this text, you would have to do that. But really, nah, yeah, you should do it, but I'm not gonna do it. So thank you for watching, and hopefully you hate the living fuck out of this tutorial so I don't have to make another